Technology in schools has been reshaping the classroom experience for years as it has grown its way through our lives. With everything from laptops to tablets to virtual learning platforms, technology is revolutionizing the way students learn and interact with their teachers. But how does it really impact the classroom environment? Is it a game changer, or are we facing the new challenges we haven't fully addressed? Stick with us as we dive into these questions, hear from teachers, students, and experts while exploring the benefits and drawbacks of integrating technology in education. Rainey Daniels is a psychiatric nurse practitioner at UMMC with a primary focus on adolescents.
For most kids, social media can become too much, and I'm sure many of y'all can think of times where possibly even earlier in adolescence, when you were first allowed to have social media and other things like that, it had an even bigger negative impact. You saw every time you didn't get to do something, or you saw everybody that got to go on a really cool vacation, or you saw beautiful people whose lives seemed wonderful. You saw all of these things that make you feel less than. However, there are some kids who we have found they have such profound social anxiety that being able to connect to other kids through the internet and through social media has helped them. That is more the exception than the rule, however. If doing things online or in an electronic classroom is going to be a part of the curriculum, we've got to provide that to our students, right? The thing is children are very smart. If they have the electronic, they are going to figure out how to get to the things they want and avoid the things they don't want by using the electronic. And so for some families, I'm sure it can be frustrating because they may be wanting their child to be iPad free till later or phone free till later, and yet then it's being provided by the school. Our kids are going to have to know how to use technology. That's a part of their life currently, and that's going to be a part of their life moving forward. But I do wish that there was some way where maybe that was not being taken into the home unless everyone was comfortable with it and okay with that. Once a student's in high school, providing them with a good quality laptop so that they can do research and write their papers and do their homework and develop themselves, I think that is a very normal and fine thing. Having a very young child become more and more dependent on the electronic to the detriment of letting them have imaginary play, I have a little bit more discomfort with that. In the elementary school system, if they're going to send iPads home, also continue to still have some written work or some paperwork or some project-based work where they're still getting to be creative and tactile and do stuff with their whole bodies.
Morgan Charlie is the mom of 4 boys and discusses her concerns and feelings about technology being exposed to her sons at school.
I think I have a little mixed feelings about it because I know that in the world we live in, they need to learn those things. They need to learn them sooner rather than later, and I feel like it does help them. But at the same time, I feel like there is the risk of the blue lights and just the getting engrossed and not being in the real world. And so I kind of battle that with the whole iPads and technology in school. I think it creates a lot of inactivity, meaning like they're not outside playing as much or working with their hands and coordination and all that. It's more just like right here and this movement. So I do worry about that aspect of things. I think it increases the sedentary lifestyle of kids.
Kim Davis is a nurse practitioner at Women's Wellness of Mississippi and has 4 kids in middle and high school.
I think that if it's used too much, there is some social limitations to it. Like I know with my kids, they don't want to order food at restaurants because they would rather do a mobile order than a pickup. And so it can limit the human-to-human contact. But as far as learning, I think it's a tool, but it shouldn't be used in the classroom, I don't think, as like a reward time. Middle school age kids, they need to learn the responsibility. They need to bring it home to be able to do their homework. Younger age kids, like kindergarten through 4th grade, no, they can do homework on worksheets and things like that, and they can use it as an enhancement and an enrichment in the classroom, but I don't think they necessarily need to bring their devices back and forth. They don't need to be using iPads during social interaction and playtime. That actually needs to be like iPads up and actually playing.
Dr. Deborah Houghton is the principal at Madison Crossing.
We, of course, have the one-to-one, so we do have the Chromebooks and we have the iPads in the lower grades, kindergarten first. The teachers all have Promethean boards, so they're using the Promethean boards in the rooms. We use, as far as soft tech, we use AI. We have used some AI in the classroom. We're using videos, different things in the different classrooms depending on the grade levels. We have a program called Exact Path where the kids take a test and it meets them where they are and they start working on that, kind of some on their own, but it's written at their level. So there's a lot of background knowledge we have to build in the building, and so it could be just showing videos of what does it mean to be an ancient civilization. So helping to build that background knowledge. And then sometimes the kids will look at different things on theirs, but most of the programs that we use are geared just towards academics and how can we meet them in math or language arts. So we have the safety system in place that tells us if they're looking for an alert system that tells us if kids are Googling words they shouldn't be, looking at things they shouldn't be. The system shuts it down as soon as it catches it, but they might put a word in because they're trying to get around it, and it tells us that as well. So there's a system that is sent to myself, my assistant principal, my counselors, that tells us when a student's gone to a spot they shouldn't go to. And then the safety systems that the district has put in place in the building also stops them, and they have to get on our Wi-Fi in the building when they're using our computers. Screen time concerns is a huge concern. And so we have gotten to where we only send the computers home really on Tuesdays. So we call it our Tech Tuesday night, because certainly we want kids exposed to how to use the programs they're going to face when they get to junior high, high school, and eventually in the real world. So giving them the opportunity, but not sending tech home all the time, all day, every day, to help us limit that time, because we do see that kids need an opportunity to walk away from screens and actually be kids.
Bailey Adams is a junior in the high-tech video production class here at Madison Central.
In high-tech video, technology plays a really big role because it really is everything we do. Whether we're recording podcasts or editing footage or even shooting short films, it really makes the whole class. I'd say I spend about 80% of my day online. 60% of my time online is spent doing schoolwork or homework or just assignments and stuff. For me personally, technology helps me with my schoolwork because it helps me be more efficient, but for other students at my school, I can definitely see how it is a negative thing for them because they rely on it a little too much and it stunts their overall growth. Technology can definitely be a really big distraction in class. Like for me personally, if I'm like listening to music while I'm doing my work, sometimes it helps me, but sometimes I get like a little too distracted. So it definitely has its benefits, but you have to be careful with it.
Kenneth Hackman is a zoology teacher at Madison Central High School and has been teaching for 42 years.
I think that the technology provides much more capability for students, because in the past all they had was a textbook. Now they can go online and they can actually watch videos or see behaviors, and then again the teacher can have those videos uploaded onto a Promethean board or embedded in a PowerPoint, and we have so much more capability to get information to students as a result of technology. Teaching life science, I always felt in the past it was necessary to get my kids outside. Those that can't get outside or don't have the means to get to field trips, we have the ability to bring the outside indoors. Just remarkable capability to bring nature and particularly my subject matter for zoology into the classroom in a way that students could not have ever known before. The advent of technology has also made it much easier for students to get information and not have to do the information gathering themselves. It's very easy for them to copy and paste somewhere. Student focus is way down. There have been numerous research studies that show that students' engagement is much less when they have a screen in front of them. As soon as we went to the ability to give every single student a laptop, I noticed very quickly an overall drop in test scores, a drop in homework scores, and I realized that the students were becoming too engaged. The other thing was that I looked into things and found that studies have clearly indicated that students writing information and writing notes is much more effective than typing even as they're going along. The screen can be a distraction, and I think that it's really important for us to balance the technological capabilities we have with the ability to focus and stay tuned into the material. Overall, your answer is that it's going to create challenges and create excitement and new ways to gather information for students, and that's just going to be a balancing act for the future.
While there's no denying that technology brings powerful tools to the classroom, it's clear that balancing innovation with thoughtful implementation is key to making it work for both teachers and students. As we continue to navigate this digital age, the way we use these tools will only evolve. If you want to learn more, contact your school's administration or your local experts for more information. This has been Natalie Mann with JNN.